Hello everyone. If you all are preparing for a serious exam, you must be knowing that science is one of the most important subject for scoring good in GS. And almost 30 topics are asked from science section, which includes biology, physics and chemistry. So here are the topics which I have noted from previous year and used to revise again and again for my serious exam. So talking about biology, questions from plants and animal tissues are asked, especially from plant tissue like xylem and phloem. Questions like which of the following statements about phloem is correct are asked, or you will be given the function of one of the tissues and you will be asked to identify the tissue. Talking about antibiotics, 1 to 2 questions were spotted in previous year and you can rely on previous year question for understanding the characteristics of antibiotics. Questions are asked like does antibiotic works on viruses or they works on bacteria, or if they work on bacteria, how does antibiotic works on bacteria. For example, it blocks cell wall formation in bacteria. You can see the question. And you have to do 5 kingdoms in detail and you can do it from 9th class ncrt, although you have to read all the topics of science from 9th to 10th ncrt only. When talking about 5 kingdoms, questions are asked like which of the following is known as amphibian of plant kingdom, or question will be asked like flame cells are found in dash, for example found in platyhelminthes. And questions from analogous and homologous organs are also found. You will be given the example of two different organs of different creatures and you will be asked that are they analogous or homologous. And in health and disease you will be given the causative agent and you will be asked that it causes which disease, or disease is given and you will be asked the causative agent. And cell and cell organelles are very important. Questions are asked like which is called suicidal bags and which has its own ribosomes and DNA, for example mitochondria, chloroplasts. So read it in detail from class 9th ncrt. You can see previously asked questions of from kingdom plantae, from cell organelles, from homologous analogous organs and from diseases. And one question was also spotted from xerophytic succession, so you can just see the stages of xerophytic succession and you will be asked to arrange them in chronology and read the differences between animal cell and plant cell, because questions are specifically asked that which of the following cell organelle is found in animal cell and not in plant cell. And read about the hormones and their functions in plant, and the characteristics of different muscles which are found in human body are asked. And sometimes tissues are also asked like the lining of your gut is formed from which tissue. So read the different muscles function and the different types of tissues found in human beings. And also different acid and their sources. For example, question was asked that methanoic acid is normally found in dash, that is ant sting. You can also be asked to match the acid to their sources, for example oxalic acid, methanoic acid, citric acid. So read it from ncrt. And talking about physics, optics is one of the most important topics and 1 to 2 questions come from this topic. For example, questions regarding types of images formed by different types of lens, mirror, and the phenomena of reflection, refraction, dispersion, scattering. And questions from refractive index are asked. You will be given the refractive indexes and you may be asked to match them or arrange them in descending or ascending order. And concept based as well as formula based questions are asked from linear momentum, kinetic energy. And example based questions are seen from Newton's law. For example, you will be asked that which of the following is an example of law of inertia, or you will be given the example and you will be asked that this example follows which law of Newton. And questions from gravitational force, same concept as well as formulas. And properties of neutrons, protons, electron, and who discovered them. Talking about electromagnetic spectrums, you have to remember the characteristics of waves, especially X-ray, UV rays, infrared rays, and their chronology in increasing and decreasing order according to wavelength as well as frequency. And questions are asked from gravitational force and electromagnetic spectrums regarding the characteristics of ultraviolet rays. And time distance questions are asked graph based as well as formula based. You will be given the graph and you will be asked whether it is in uniform motion, rest, or non-uniform motion. And chapter of ninth class, that is sound, is very important. Questions are asked from this. If we see the power and energy, formula based as well as concept based questions are asked. Similarly, from heating effect, resistivity, and resistance, questions were seen like, if we increase the length of the copper wire, what will be the effect on resistance or resistivity? You can see the questions asked from velocity, sound, echo. Talking about chemistry, atoms and molecule chapter of class 9th is very important. Questions are asked from isotopes, isobars, compound, elements, constituents of alloy. In this, you will be given atomic number, atomic mass, and you will be asked that identify, is it isotope, is it isobar, or you will be given element, compound, and you will be asked that which of the following is an element or compound. And you will be asked about the constituents of alloy. For example, you can see the question, constituents of alloy solder is asked, radioactive isotope of hydrogen is asked, and questions from Rutherford experiment, Dalton atomic theory are seen. So you have to remember the experiment was on which atom, proton, neutron, electron, or what. You have to remember its drawbacks. And questions from valency are asked. For example, you have to remember almost one from 1 to 20 elements, atomic number, and you will be given valency, and you will be asked that identify the element, or you will be given the element and you will be asked to identify its valency. And questions from atomic number and atomic masses are also asked. You can see questions from property of neutron is asked, Rutherford alpha particle experiment is asked, and you have to also practice chemical reaction, that is also given in class 9th. Questions are asked like, when does lime water turns milky, or what happens when silver get oxidized, and different process of separations are asked like sublimation, filtration, chromatography, distillation. You will be given question that this is separated by which of the following method. So read it from class 9th ncert only. Elements and their characteristics. For example, questions are asked like, which of the following liquids will be liquid at room temperature, and which of the following is a metalloid, or which of the metals are used in semiconductors. Such questions are asked. And you have to remember pH of some common substances that are also given in ncert, and you will be asked that arrange them in increasing order of pH, decreasing order of pH. And questions from the formulas and characteristics are seen from bleaching powder, baking soda, washing soda, plaster of Paris. This is also given in class 9th ncert. Questions generally are asked in match the following questions from this section. So you have to read these topics carefully from ncert, strictly from ncert, and you can rely on ncert for scoring good in science section in gs of cds. And thank you.